Hello my friends, welcome to this video in which I will show you how to burn the little branches that we've collected during the summertime. So basically we've put all the branches here at this very place on the fireplace with the intention of keeping them or burning them. And here, as I have already a lot of wood, I will burn them for saving some space, which will of course also generate interesting ashes that I will be recycling, like you have seen in my previous video about the subject. Now, very important, burning wood in the garden is forbidden in many regions in Europe, so make sure that it's not forbidden in your region. Otherwise, you will have to take this to the container park. Honestly, dear viewers, I have no clue if in terms of CO2 it is better to burn them in the garden, meaning no transport at all, or to take the car and bring them to the container park. So if you have any clue about this, please let me know. Then there is a second interdiction, which is not to make such type of fire when it's very dry around. So this interdiction is not only for legal reasons, but it's also, of course, for environmental reasons. The risk that you would burn what is around is extremely high, so never make this type of fire when it's very dry around the fireplace. So for burning this little hill of wood, let's go. I'm making this fire today for several reasons. First of all, the wood is sufficiently dry for burning. Secondly, today there is no wind, so you can do such type of fire with a little bit of wind. This will give a little bit of power to the fire. But of course, if there is too much wind, don't do this type of fire, because otherwise the smoke and all the ashes will be teared apart quite far away. And the last reason is that my neighbor is not here for the moment, so I'm sure that I won't disturb him. This will be a good occasion for inaugurating these pair of gloves. These are gloves that I bought on the flea market, so don't hesitate to have a look at my video about return from the flea market number 2. You have in my back all the wood I'm storing here in the garden, so don't hesitate to have a look at the video about the wood stored in the garden, which I shot right before preparing a specific garden shed for storing the wood outside. The first thing we're going to do is to remove all this wood from the fireplace. So here, the deeper you go, the more humid it is. And now we have to make the heart of the fire. The dog just found an old piece of skin of a beast right in front of your eyes. So I found everything what I had around. To start with, newspapers. I'm also taking some paper boards. Normally I'm using them for picking up the dog's poo, but I have so many that now I will burn them. So now we won't be using any fire starter. I have enough small and dry wood for starting the fire. And as I told you, what is now on the top of this little hill is more humid than what is on the bottom. So we'll be taking the ones which are below. So this here is for starting the fire. We nevertheless need to have a little critical mass of heat for making a big fire out of it. So for this I will use bigger pieces of wood. And now we start the fire. While it's starting, one little comment. Careful about the volume of branches you're putting on the fire, because the branches are usually burning very quickly and very strongly. So the risk is that you have a very high flame, which can be quite dangerous. So stay around the fire and pull the wood progressively. A little comment about these pieces of wood. These are residues from works. Old plinth sometimes have wood, and this is better to avoid using inside because it has a certain smell, but here for outside, and my neighbors are not here, it's all okay. Just a little comment about the wood. So here this wood is quite dry. It has been drying for a couple of weeks here in the garden during the summertime. So it will be easy to burn. Careful in case your branches are with leaves or are not dry enough. You will have a lot of smoke, which may incommodate your neighbors. See here the center of the fire. So you see here the nice sound of the burning wood. And you could see that it started quite easily, essentially because I made sure that there was enough space between the little branches. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been enough access for oxygen, which is, as you know, a very important component of fire. Here we'll be using this type of râteau. This here has the advantage of being able to pick up quite easily all the leaves and branches from the ground. Of course, it would have been easier, there would have been less lawn. That's it, my friends. We are now close to the end of this video. I have to tell you that this end take was really extremely challenging because the wind turned several times, so I had to change the angle. Then I put some additional wood on the ashes, and because I thought the light would be sufficient, but for video purposes it is not. Then I found this very nice lamp I found on the flea market. Have a look at my video about flea market 2. And not to forget the shadow tool, which is the extension, which is quite known today with my video about how to repair a lawn mower extension. So would you have done this during the day? You would have had an excellent basis for adding up some logs, enabling you to make a very nice barbecue. And as I've told you in my video about the gas barbecue, the quality for cooking with wood is of course number one. You can also do this in a very wide brasero in case you're lacking space, but of course the volumes you can do with this is by far less than this one. So now I'm leaving the camera on. I'm leaving you of course in excellent musical company. See you very soon on Happy Hour TV 1.